Welcome back to another Spirit Island video. In this video, we're going to be covering my updated tier list. Now, the previous tier list that I posted was about 6 months ago, which means I feel like it's time to kind of share with the community where some spirits have changed. Because, as you guys know from my previous tier lists, they used to be updated once a month, and spirits are changing as we discover new strategies and as we optimize strategies. And now that I'm not posting monthly tier lists, I you guys might not have the newest update. So this is the oldest tier list here. We have the X, S, A, B, C, all the way down to F tier, and we are now going to look up here, and this is going to be our revised tier list. Let me bring that down over there because we'll talk about that later. Okay, so the biggest thing in X tier, Fractured ended up jumping up a couple spots, and the main reason for that was just the games that Fractured is in, they're always broken, and it's always because of Fractured. Like, Fractured just does so many silly things, and while Stone is very, very strong, very durable, great into several 6/6 adversaries by itself, it just doesn't have that game breaking, or at least the level of game breaking isn't as significant as Fractured. And this is just because we started playing more Fractured games, and every time Fractured was in it, the whole game got flipped upside down. And I feel like it's deserving. It was at the top of X tier, then it dropped a little bit. Well, now it's back there. Um, you'll also notice Green's regrowth aspect has moved up from the depths of A tier, so high A tier, all the way up to X tier. We played more games of regrowth, and while I do think regrowth is worse than base green into multiple matchups, it's not that much worse to where it should be dropped down 2 tiers. Like, it's still very serviceable. It's just not as it's just the it's just not as efficient as base green at clearing its board into some of those adversaries. But it is, I think, significantly stronger into 6/6 play or just higher double adversary combinations. I know this is not really a tier list for 6/6s, but for like double adversaries, regrowth green is better than base green, and it's honestly a monster compared to base green because the biggest benefit that base green gets, it has that nice defend on the right innate. Regrowth gets rid of that defend and gives you skips. So yeah, really, really absurd. You'll notice that pretty much the rest of the list is about the same. I also flipped Dances and Hearth Vigil. I don't remember when that was done. And my guess is because Dance's ability to completely clear boards is just, yeah, really, really absurd. Okay, looking at S tier, so Starlight has jumped to the top of S tier. It's Starlight is such a good spirit, and I can't wait for it to be on Spirit Island Digital so that I can showcase or at least update my entire Starlight guide, because I'll be covering a couple different openings. Because my current Starlight guide, I only cover the opening that I have found, but I'll cover some of the other main openings that other players use. But Starlight, it's a good spirit. I don't know what else to say. I think it's more, the ceiling on it is higher than both Roots and Mini Mines. Many Minds is more of a combo based spirit. It's also very strong, but I just think Starlight has a lot higher ceiling than the other two. And I actually think there might be a chance that Keeper jumps above Roots, but Roots is so solid into a lot of comps, it's hard for us to it's hard for me to justify that change. But I think Keeper might be a little bit better into doubles. But okay, so let's look at A tier. What is the changes? So it looks like Nourishing, yeah, Nourishing jumped up. What is the main one? Yeah, Finder. Yes, okay, so this is the tier where a lot of things changed. So Finder at the top of A tier. At one point we had Finder at S tier. We've been playing a lot of Finder in the play group, and we've been able to unlock its true potential. I think finally, it's been a long time. It's been what, 4 years or maybe 3 years since I started doing the tier lists, but I never felt like I had, or at least knew people who had a good grasp of Finder, and I think we finally solved the spirit. And I think it's at the top of A tier. It might be low S tier, but the players that are very experienced with it keep saying it's not S tier. So it'll be interesting to see what happens once I devote some time to the spirit and see if I can break it in half. But yeah, top of A tier is where it is. Great combo potential. It has some pretty tricky matchups. Um, what else? So looks like the other change, yes. So Sparking and Intensify. So these are the two spirits that while we had played them a little bit, we didn't devote a lot of time until recently. There's a Sparking. Uh, a very good sparking opening that was discovered, as well as I put together my Intensify guide and really spent some time optimizing the spirit. And I think both of these spirits are solid A tier spirits. Um, I think what else to say? I mean, look forward to that memory guide coming up in a couple weeks. I go through everything. I showcase just how busted this thing is. It's very powerful. Looks like the other thing is I moved Tangles up into A tier. I think it's lower A tier. It's better than Base Green and Regrowth. It's solving its problems, but because you don't have Gift of Proliferation, that really limits its ceiling and what it can do. Okay, let's look at B tier here. I'm trying to see if there's any changes here. It looks all pretty good. Locust is a little bit down. Enticing maybe a little bit up. I think all of that looks good. Yeah, Might and Stranded. Did they move up a little bit? Looks like Might, Stranded, and Violence all moved up. Violence was C tier previously. I have it now in B tier. It finally made it. Everything else looks pretty solid there. Yeah, so the big changes was Sparking, Intensify, Regrowth, Finder. Those are the big moves. I guess Fractured and Starlight as well. I think C tier is pretty much the same. Yeah, it looks like Tactician dropped down into low C tier. I know F tier is about the same. I think D tier is about the same too. Yeah, so D tier, F tier, no changes. Yep, so just a couple changes up here. The spirits that I'm focusing on now, well, I'm trying to learn Finder. That's the spirit I'm putting a lot of time into. Um, Possibly Darkness. I mean, I feel really good about this. Like on this previous tier list, the spirits that I didn't have a good grasp on were Sparking, Intensify, Finder, and I guess I mean I know Regrowth is good, but we were able to iron that stuff out. So I mean I'm pretty happy with this. So we'll see what the tier list looks like in 6 months. Over here I have another document. This is the document that I use. It's just a nice Excel sheet. This is what I use to kind of separate the spirits. All of this information is just up here in the image form. Now I'll have this video posted, and I might make a post on Reddit for people who just want to go straight to the picture and don't want to watch the video. If you like this video, like, subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys in the next video.